If it wasn't clear, this is the funniest part in each song. It's amazingly funny and so fulfilling to drag colored blocks up and down. Hey, what's up? This is 20 aka 0. Welcome back to my studio and to my YouTube channel. This is the second part of my first episode, my first try to make a 1-minute song. The only rule is to find a sample pack which is free on the internet and start from there. In the previous part, I focused on laying down the arrangement, writing the lyrics and recording the vocals. This time, I will focus on more technical aspects such as editing, mixing and mastering. Here, I explain my usual workflow and I kept it as fast, smooth and entertaining as possible. And let me know in the comments if you want me to go deeper on some subjects, some areas or some processes that you found interesting. Alright, enough words, let's go!
Дуже добре двері.
Alright, welcome back. Sorry for being late, but I'm Italian, so it's pretty normal, I'm sorry to tell you. What am I doing here? First off, I'm drinking red wine. Second of all, I'm just trying to be creative. The first stream we did music production, and today is going to be the more technical part. So we are going to tune the vocals and do the mixing. We can start by taking a listen to what we did and see where we are going to start from.
Oh, you gotta take a look at my face. Oh, you gotta take a look real close on your toes. Let me take off your clothes. 1, 2, I'm coming for you. I love the way you look with those pretty damn shoes. 5, 6, can I buy you a drink? I'm not the kind of guy, but you don't give a shit. You make my eyes roll, you make my head turn, you make me fly so higher than planes. Higher, higher, higher than planes, I'm on top of the world. Oh, you gotta take a look at my face. Oh, you gotta take a look real close on your toes. Let me take off your clothes. Let me take it off for ya. Let me take it off for ya. Let me take it off for ya. Let me take off your clothes.
So, what we're going to do, we are going to first tune the vocals, because even though it's super auto-tuned, we need to fix a little bit, we want to be perfect. After that, we are going to bounce all the instruments into audio tracks, because right now they are VST instruments, so they occupy a lot of CPU. After that, just a quick master and we will have it. We have a low octave, a high octave, some doubles for the hook, some ghost vocals, so like whispering vocals, harmonies, falsetto, and some choirs. I am super precise as a singer, so it's not going to be too much correction. No, I'm joking, I'm terrible. One thing that is super important when tuning vocals is to follow also the glissando and the curve of the pitch, because a voice, it's not something straight as an arrow, like a piano note, as you can see here, for example. But in this case, we have a more natural approach to what it is yellow right now, which is an F. Most of the time, it's a smart idea to keep all the small nuances from the original singing. We should choose in advance also, because it's not a good idea to overlap different kind of takes. So we either go straight, or we either go with a curve. Small secret, when you have two identical hooks, you can do something amazing like Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V. A rule of thumb when tuning vocals with different layers stacked one on top of the other is to use one as a guide and another one to follow the guide. If we find something that is not correct in the lowest one, we can always go back and change it and adapt it to what we think is the best solution. You see, this is what I'm talking about when I say follow the glide, follow the curve of the vocal, because if we just use two notes, D sharp and G, is going to sound different from this version that has a transitioning note. Instead of having a natural, we will obtain something more instead of it's a matter of what you are looking for, but keep in mind that the singer usually knows better, even if he doesn't know, or she. Here is the first example of double checking the melody, because for me at least, when I hear the highest octave, it's going to be clearer. So I will be able to understand better which is the real melody. Here my ear just went to the G, but in reality the melody wanted a D sharp. So I'm using the higher octave to understand and refine these nuances, and I will correct with the low octave. You make my eyes roll. You make my eyes roll. Another thing that is suggested to do is to check the input type of the autotune, because the lower your pitch is, the lower you should go. I will not go into bass instrument or to instrument, because usually they are made for that, as you can probably imagine. Maybe some super high falsetto, I will go with the soprano, and I will try to stick with the low male and alto tenor. We can check it right now and see if we can find some differences into the effect of the autotune on a high pitch vocal with the two settings. You can hear it in the lowest notes. If you listen to gotta, you gotta take a look at my face, with the input type low male, it kind of get overlooked, but in alto tenor mode, it's super in the pitch. Take a closer listen.
Oh, you gotta take a look. Oh, you gotta take a look.
So the mystery is explained. With higher vocals, we should use an higher input type. If it wasn't clear, this is the funniest part in each song. It's amazingly funny and so fulfilling to drag colored blocks up and down. We can go all the way up to soprano, because it's a super high pitchy whispery vocal that needs to be in that range. This is one of the cases where soprano it's acceptable. Almost there. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the ball rolling. We did it, baby. We did it. All right. Now wait. Last one. Shit. Super important. Right now we will bounce the tracks from VST to audio files, so they're going to be less expensive on the CPU. Another super important thing to do when using VST plugins, if it's possible, before bouncing it, put it into the highest quality sample rate oversampling possible. Okay, because we like orders and we are precise people and we don't want our session to be messy, we will group the tracks that we have with a specific assignment. I will say a group for the vocals, effects and all this stuff, a group for the high register drums, a group for the low register drums, a master group for the drums, a group for the basses that we already have because I think I had, and a group for instruments, I will say synths. Maybe we will also create a folder for the drums because we don't want to scroll every time up and down and be super messy. Quick tip, if you can make the automation lane as smart as possible, everything that your computer has to calculate every time that you press the space bar or the play button, it will put additional stress to the CPU. Even if it's an automation point that it's nothing, things add up super quick. Quick tip, when you have choirs with a very heavy autotune, try to reduce a little bit the autotune on the panned layers and detune a little bit, so you will have less phasing issues when they will overlap in mono. Let's go. What are you going to do? First, we will create a mix bus and a master bus, because every time you start to mix, you should hear the final result. You don't want to mix something, to do some processing, and after you are satisfied with the result, you have to add something at the end of the chain, and maybe it will change the sound, the shape, the transient, everything. So if you know that you're going to use a certain limiter, a Q curve or correction on the master bus or on the mix bus, put it in place before starting to mix. It's a mistake that I've learned from. It's something that you should do. Okay, first, let's shape the sound of the main vocal. I will start with the low vocal. Don't be fooled by the loudness. Every time turn down the output and check. Double check with what you started to what you have right now and see if there is an improvement.
Toes. Let me take off your clothes. Let me take off your clothes. Real clothes on your toes. Let me take off your clothes. Can I buy you a drink? I'm not the kind of guy, but you don't give a with those pretty damn shoes. 5, 6, can I buy you a drink on your toes?
I'm looking for a super electric, hyper processed sound because why not? I like it.
5, 6, can I buy you a drink? I'm not the kind of guy, but you don't give a planes. I'm on top of the world. You gotta take a look at my face. You gotta take a...
Okay, I'm pretty satisfied. Let's move on with the top layer with the higher octave.
You gotta take a look at my face. You gotta take a look.
Another tip to create some additional space, especially ghost vocals, maybe some falsetto, maybe some whispers, maybe some doubles that are not super important, how they sound. It's a nice idea in general to group them and to apply some processing in the group that will expand the dimension, that will maybe create some phasing, some flanging, some modulation. I'm pretty happy with what we are obtaining so far. I will freeze the tracks before attacking the music. We can add some space, some reverb, some nice touch to the vocals.
I'm not the kind of guy, but you don't give a 1, 2, I'm coming for you. I love the way you look with those pretty damn shoes. Look real close on your toes. Real close on your toes. Pattern, you make me fly so higher than planes.
Right now we are going to touch the instruments. I like to start by muting the effects, the drums and the bass and listening to only the instruments to see how they match with the vocal and see which kind of space we should carve and which kind of embellishment we should add.
1, 2, I'm coming for you. I like the way you look with those pretty damn shoes. 5, 6, can I buy you a drink? I'm not the kind of guy, but you don't give a...
Let me take off your clothes.
Okay, great. Now that we have the instruments in place, I would like to start with a kick drum and the snare and build on top of that.
Real close on your toes. Let me take off.
Side chaining the kick with the bass, it's one of the most important thing in electronic music production. If not side chaining, creating a nice discussion between the kick and the bass sound.
You can look at my face. You gotta take a look at planes. Higher than planes. I'm on top of the world. You gotta take...
Okay, now that we have the overall mix, we will do some nice touch, maybe some transitions, maybe we'll follow the volume automation for the vocals, and I guess that we're pretty close. Okay, now we follow the vocal. Let's see if we can embellish in the last 5 minutes.
On your toes. Let me take. I'm not the kind of guy, but you don't give a shit. You make my eye. Let me take off your clothes. 1. Higher than planes, I'm on top of the world.
I am very satisfied with the results so far. I will just do a couple of tweaks on the mix bus to feed to the master bus a more dynamic development of the song. Nothing crazy, just some basic EQ and some stereo expansion and maybe some volume automation. And then we will do a quick master and we are done for the first one.
You gotta take a look at my face. You gotta take a look real close on your toes. Let me take off your clothes.
Well, I can say that we have it. Mission is completed, and we just need to find a title for this one. Thank you for being present and for enjoying the content. Have a good night. See you next time. And we did it, baby! You can find the whole song on my Instagram at 20aka20. Don't forget to comment, to subscribe, to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. The username is still the same. Thank you for watching and see you next time.